Welcome back, friends. So in the previous video we have fetched this all folders, fetched the folders here, not the files, and then we have also opened the functionality to open a folder here. So when user will double click, you can see that we are under this folder and we have the folder ID. So today in this video what we are going to do, here we are going to create some breadcrumbs to show that in which folder the user is from the root, and then we are going to show this one here, like if this folder is empty or not, and we are going to also do that whenever user has opened this folder, so user can create a subfolder under this folder. So this type of functionality we are going to create. And also one thing we have to do, so that is whenever user is changing the folder, means it is under the second folder, then the user will, here the folder will be changed and here current folder will be the ID of that folder. So now without wasting any time, let's get into it. And first of all, let's start creating the breadcrumbs first. So here we will mention the first of all folder ID. So first of all we are going to handle this. We are going to create action creators and action for this current folder to change the current folder. So now without wasting any time, let's do it. So we are under the coding section here. So first of all we are going to set up the action types and action creator. So let's do that first. So let's set up the action type for creating a subfolder, for changing a folder. Now let's create an action creator. First of all we will create an action. Now we will create an action creator. So let's create that. Here we will be having a dispatch and we need the folder ID as well. So now after changing the folder, we will just dispatch the folder ID. Just save this. Now let's move forward and let's go to the reducers here. So we will go to the file folder reducer and here we will set up the case to change the folder. Just save this. So now what we are going to do here, so we will be going to the pages, not pages, we will going to the components, dashboard components, then there we will be having the show items and then show items.jsx. So here you can see that when we are navigating here, so before that we are going to use dispatch. So here we are going to use dispatch here and here we are going to set the folder. So set folder. So we have to import the set folder first and here we are going to pass the item ID. So now let's test this. So I will go here. So here we have some errors. This folder actions. So we don't have the folder actions. So action creators. So first of all let's do that, double dot slash. So here double dot slash. So we are under the show items. So we will move one up, now two up. So after the two ups we will be having the Redux. So let's do from here set folder from. So let's see the action creator. So here we have change folder. So instead of set folder, we have change folder. So we have change folder here. Here we are going to use change folder. Just save this. Now we are going to test it. Just go to the dashboard, and here now you can see that we have the folder as root, current folder. Now let's move to the new folder. Let's double click here, and you can see that this is having the ID xbmf. And now let's move here. Now here you can see that we have this changed one, that is xbmf. Now this is a current folder. So here first of all let's create the, because subfolders under this will be having the parent with this ID. So here what we are going to do, so first of all we are going to create the breadcrumb, then we are going to modify the create folder functionality. So if the so here you can see that under the create folder, so here let's move here to the create folder. So under the create folder we have this one. So you can see that path is current folder is equals to root. If the current folder is root, so path is nothing, otherwise we will be having the path. So here we will mention the path also, and after that we will be having the parent current folder. So current folder is already mentioned, that we are getting from the Redux. So that will be this current folder in which the folder is opened. So first of all let's create the breadcrumbs first, so that we can get to know in which folder and in which architecture we are. So let's do that first. So here we will be using the Bootstrap breadcrumb here. So as we have used this one, so let me move to version 5. So we have the breadcrumb for the version 5. So we are going to use this breadcrumb. So let's use this one here. So we are going to use this one. Just copy this. So now let's move forward, and this we are going to use under the subbar. So here we are going to move to the subbar here. So here we are going to use a breadcrumb. So by default there will be a root. So root will be there, and every time the last one will be the active one, so that will be according to the current one. So here how it will be, breadcrumb will be mentioned. So breadcrumb will be according to the path. So according to the path, breadcrumb will be there. So first of all just save this. So here I am going to just use static one, that is new folder. So this is just a static, that is root and new folder. So by default the link is nothing here. So here we are going to use link instead of this. Let's import the link. So here by default 2 will be /dashboard for this one, for root one, and for the new folder just remain it like this. So we will be having the breadcrumb like this. So here we need something, let it be, here we need the class. So class will be margin start to 5. Just save this. So we have this type of here. So now you can see that we have this breadcrumb here. So this new folder is just static. So now when I will move to the dashboard, so I am under the dashboard here. So now you can see that still it is static. So still it is static. So but we don't want it as a static here. And you can also see that we are not changing the current folder. So we have to set up the link here also like that. Whenever the user is going to any folder, any other folder, so its folder should be changing there as well. So when I'm clicking on new folder, we are under the new folder. So here according to the path we are going to change that. So before adding the dynamic breadcrumb, so let's do one thing here. So let's create a subfolder here, functionality here. So we will create the subfolder functionality, and before that let's make this folder component empty here. So let's make this folder empty. So here let's go to the folder component. So we are under the folder component here. So here we have the folder ID. So we will be using use selector. So first of all we will check current folder. So we have the current folder, and here we have the this one here. We will be using shallow equal here, shallow equal current folder, state.file.folders. So actually we have the folder ID, so we don't need the current folder here. So here we need the current folder data. So we will be having the current folder data. So we have the current folder data. So here we are going to use filter function. So we are going to use filter function here. So let's do that. So we are going to filter from the user folders. So from the user folders we are going to filter. So that we are going to filter according to the folder ID. So user folders dot filter or dot find. Here we have the folder and folder dot doc ID. So folder doc ID should be equals to the folder ID. So here what I am going to do, I am going to just JSON dot stringify this current folder data. Current folder data. Just save this. So here we have some errors here. So let's see what are those errors. So those errors are use selector is not defined. So we have to import the use selector as well. So let's import that use selector. Just save this. And we have one more error, that is cannot read property of undefined use folder. So state.file folders. So its f is small, and yeah, now it's perfect. Now you can see here. So this is a folder data. Now let's go back to the root, and here I'm going to the test folder too, and you can see that we have ID changed, and we this is created by test user. We have the path as well, we have the doc ID as well, and after that here you can see that we have this one. Every data is there. So we don't want the doc ID here because we already have the document ID. So for that we are going to just access the data from here. Data. Just save this. Now we don't have the doc ID, we just have the data. So this is a folder ID, and last access like this. So whenever the user is clicking, we also have to update the last access. So let's update the last access here. So whenever using the user is clicking, so we have to update the last access. So that we will do in the next videos, in the means whenever we are going to fix the bugs. So then we are going to do this. So here what we are going to do now. So we have created this. So here parent is root. So you can see that parent is root here. So here we have to get that if the folder is empty or not. So we have to get the child folders. So how we can get the child folders? So you can see that we have the parent here. So we have the parent as root. So this means that this is under the root folder. So now we have to get the child folders. So in the child folders we will be having the parent as this ID. This folder ID will be the parent of subfolder that we are going to create here. So we are going to make this by creating this only. So here child folders, we are going to filter the folders, and here we will be having the folder, and here we will check if parent is equals to, if the parent is equals to the folder ID. So this means that this is a subfolder here. So here let's check the child folders. So child folders. So now you can see that we have the child folders empty. So this means that this whole is empty. So this whole folder is empty here. So here I'm going to remove this. So I'm going to remove the folder ID as well. So here we have the child folders. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to write this here. So if if child folders dot length is greater than 0, so if child folder length is greater than 0, so just we are going to write here with the h1 that so we are going to just json.stringify our current folders, our child folders. Just do that. We are just going to stringify this using the p tag. Otherwise what we are going to do here, so otherwise we are going to have the h1 tag with class, let it be just h1 tag, or we will be having just paragraph tag and text center and margin y to 5. Here we are going to write empty folder. Just do this, just save this. Now you can see that we have this one as empty folder. Now let's go back and here check to the new folder, and this folder is also empty. So now let's create a functionality here to create a child folder here. So let's do that. So there we just have to make small changes. So there we will do that. So let's go here to the create folder. So create folder, in the create folder we are going to go. So here we have to check here. So if this is folder present, so we have to check if the folder is already present, everything is correct. So everything we created previously is correct, just we need to do few changes. So here we have to find using the folder name. So here we have the folder name, but here we need one thing more. So one thing more, we need the folder ID, not folder ID. So let it be folder name only. So here what we are going to do, so we are going to check under the current folder. So we have to check under the current folder. So for that what we are going to do, so we are going to check the routes here. So here what we are going to do, so we have the current folder. So here we will check if current folder, so if current folder is equals to root. So if current folder is root, then we are going to use this one. Else, if the current folder is not used, then we are going to do according to that. So first of all, we are going to check under the folder parent here. So under folder parent we have to check. So otherwise we can do like this only. So let's do like this only. So let's remove here everything. So we can do like this. We can use adding condition here. So this means that if folder.name is equals to name and if folder.parent is equals to current folder, then only we can say that it is a child folder of that particular folder. So just save this. So now let's see if this is still working. So here I'm going to the root, and in the root we have to check if this is working or not. So I'm creating a new folder. Just click on create folder. So here you can see that we have the error. So that is this folder created successfully. So this means that logic is not working. So that logic is not working. So that is because our current folder is not changing. Our current folder is not changing when we are under the when we are clicking on the breadcrumb. So that is the error. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to delete that folder that we have created now. So let's delete any one new folder. So any new folder, let's delete that. So this is a new folder. So let's I will delete this one. Delete document. and just reload our app. Click on dashboard, and now you can see that we have this only one new folder. So here now you can see that here we are under the root only. So our current folder is root. Now let's try to create the new folder. Let's click on create folder. Still we have the error. So same error we have. So we have the same error. So now what we are going to do, so we are going to change here. This one. So otherwise if folder present, here we will check user. First of all we will filter here. So we will filter user.filter. So we are going to filter the child folder. So folder.parent is equals to current folder, and then we are going to find the folder. So like this. So we can change like this also here, and we can remove this one. So let's remove this. Let's save this. Now we can test it. So first of all, let me reload this. Let's go to the dashboard, and here let's check that if the state is correct. Current folder is root. Let's try to create a folder. So that is new folder. Click on create folder. Still we have the same error. So still we have the same error. So here we have the folder.parent. So folder.parent is equals to the current folder, and find the folder. If folder present, then it is true. So here we will write if folder is not equals to undefined. If folder is not equals to undefined, or folder present is equals to this null one, like this, is not equals to like this. Just save this. So now let's test the changes. Click on create folder. Now you can see that folder already present. So we are under the root. Click on dashboard, and here our parent is root. So you can see that our current folder is root. Now here I am going to write the new folder. Click on create folder. We are getting folder already present. So this means that this logic is working successfully. So now let's try to create a subfolder. So to do that, what I am going to do, so here first of all current folder is correct, and then here we have to add the path. So we have to add the path here. So what path we are going to add? So that will be, so here first of all we will be adding the current folder. So current folder will be there, and then if the current folder is there, so this means that this is only the path. But what we are going to do is, first of all we have to get the current folder data. So we have to get the current folder data. So let's do that. Current folder data. So here we will get the current folder data. So file folders dot user folders dot find. So we are going to find the folder. So folder. So folder.doc id will be equals to the current folder dot data. So we have the current folder data here. So here what we are going to do, so we have the current folder. So first of all the last path will be the current folder, and then here we will be having the current folder dot root dot parent. So we will be having the current folder dot parent. So current folder dot parent we will be having, and then we will be having the current folder. Or one more thing we can do. So if path is there, so we can do one thing. So instead of parent, what we can do here, so root will be always there, so we can just do the current folder slash path dot path. We can iterate to the current folder path, and then we can add the current folder, and root will be always there. So root will be always there, we don't have to mention the root. So like that, just save this. So now let's move there. So let's move there and let's click on create folder. So here we have some errors. Let's see what is the error here. So error is that current folder before initialization cannot be accessed. Here it is current folder data. So here let note to be add a current folder here. So here what I'm going to do here. So instead of this current folder, I'm going to write state.filefolders.current folder. So this will be better. Just save this. Now reload this. So we should not have any errors now. So we have still errors. Cannot read properties of undefined data. So it is the doc id. Find folder.docid.data. So just remove this, and then here what I'm going to do here. So here I'm going to use current folder dot data like this. Just save this. Just reload this. Folder component JSX. So we have the error in the folder component. So in the folder component we have the error for this dot data. So we are going to use this one. So now we don't have any errors. Let's go to the new folder. So we are under the new folder. So let's see that if ID is correct. Yes, ID is correct. Let's create a new folder here. So here I'm going to create a new folder. Just click on create folder. So we are getting folder already present. So this error we have, that folder is already present. So here we will be having the folder dot data dot parent. So folder dot data dot name. So this thing we have to do first. So now we will click on create folder. So let's create folder. So folder still already present. So here let me check if our file folder, current folder is this, create folder, folder already present. Just refresh this. We have the empty folder, create folder, new folder, folder already present. Now you can see that our folder is created successfully. So folder is created successfully. So now let's see that folder. So we having the new folder. This new folder. Now you can see that we have the new folder and we have the parent here. And in the parent you can see that we have the path house as well. So we have the path here. So we have the path. So in the test name, what is the path here? In the test name we have this path here. Now you can see that we have this path. So that is great, but here it is not coming. So let me reload this. Let's go to the dashboard. Here we have two new folders. So we have two new folders. So we have to resolve this error here. So for that, what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to the dash home page. So let's go to the home page here, home component, and here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to the show items. Just go back to the home component, and here we have the user folders. So we have the user folders here. So now here we have to mention that what type of folder we have to do here. We have to add here. So we have the user folders, but we are going to show the folders according to the need. So here we have the use folders. So user folders we have. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to add the user folders, but that we have to filter for the root. So filter for the root folder, and this we have to folder dot data dot parent. So parent is equals to root, so it should be root here. Just save this. Now you can see the changes. So we don't have another new folder anymore. So when I'm going to double click here, so this is the empty folder, but it should not be an empty folder. So for that, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to the that one here, folder component. So under the folder component, here we have the parent. So folder dot data dot parent will be there. So folder dot data dot parent will be the folder ID. Now you can see that we have the particular folder. So now when I'm going to the root, I'm going to a new folder too. Now here we have the empty folder. So let's go back to the root and go back to the new folder. So now we have the folder here as well. So here just add the show item. So here I'm going to add the show items here. So I'm just going to copy from the home component, copy this, and here paste this. Instead of user folder, I'm going to paste child folders, and let's import the show items. I have imported the show items successfully here, and here created folders, and here we have the type folder here. Now you can see that we have the created folder here. Now the same on click will be for this. When I will double click, so I am under that folder and that folder is empty. So now how we can show this in the breadcrumbs? So let's do that. So we are under here under the coding section. So here first of all we have to use navigate here. So first of all let's import everything here. So import navigate is equals to use navigate, and then we have to import the dispatch here. So I am importing everything, and then we need the use selector as well. So const use selector. In the use selector, what we have to do here, so we have to add current folder data, and as well as user folder. So current folder data, and we need the user folders. So let's do that. So we have the current folder, and then we have the current folder data here like this, and then we have the user folders. So this thing we need, and let's import the shallow equal as well. So now here we have to add all the breadcrumbs. So I have already created the code for this one. I will explain the code for you, as it will take a lot of time to explain to write the code. So here you can see that we have the breadcrumb here. So I have aligned display flags, align item center, so that it will be under the center and in the same line. So here we are checking if the current folder is not root. So if the current folder is not root, this means that the current folder is not root. We are under some other folder. So it can be subfolder, it can be a root, subfolder of root. So here if current folder is root, then just we are going to show this as active. Just save this. So here you can see this here. So we are under the dashboard. So here we have some errors here. So error is that use selector is not defined, so we have to import the use selector as well. Just save this. Now we don't have any errors. Now you can see that we are, and our current folder is root. So you can see the current folder here. So our current folder is root here. So whenever I am changing here, now you can see that our current folder is changing. So this one is app and our current folder is changing like this. So how this is happening? So current folder is changing. So whenever our current folder is changing, so you can see that our current folder is changing here. So our current folder is changing, then we have the button and link to the dashboard. So here this handle navigate function we are going to create now. So let's create this handle navigate function. So handle navigate, it will take the link, and the second thing it will take, so that will be the ID. So what it will do, so it will navigate to not the ID, it will navigate the link. So it will navigate to the link, and then we are going to dispatch. So we are going to dispatch the change folder. So change folder, we have imported it and it will be having the ID. So we will be changing the folder as well. So it is handle navigate. Now I have made this handle navigate usable function because we are using it at two sides. So this is the root folder. Then now it is mapping through all the path. It is mapping through all the path, and in the path there is an array, and we have the particular ID for the parent one. So here what it is doing, it is navigating to all the path, and it is showing the current folder, showing the folder in the path, and then it is showing the current active folder. So you can see that now we are under the new folder, it is not clickable. Now when I will try to go to the root here, so when I'm under the root, now here you can see that we have current folder as root now. So I'm under the new folder, and let's go to the subfolder. Now you can see that this new folder is also it is having the underline here. So here it is the btn link, and we don't need the text decoration, let it be text decoration none here also. Now see that we have the new folder. Now here we are under the new folder here. You can see that this is a KT ID, and now we have this KT ID. You can see that KT is the ID here. So we can create a new folder here. So let's try to create a new folder again. Click on create folder, folder already present. Now let's create new folder 2. So this folder will be created successfully. So folder created successfully, and we have the new folder 2 here. Now we under the new folder 2. So we can create the folder under new folder 2 also. So when I will create new folder, so just click on create folder. So we can see that folder is created successfully. Now see that we are under the new folder. So this is working very successfully. So for today this is enough, and in the next video we are going to start with the file, and that videos will be below 50 minutes because the long videos was for the folders. So for the folders it was long video, but not for the file, it will not be a long video. So at last, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. If you like this, please like this, subscribe my channel. At last, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.